Models. Greetings, greetings. Hello, hello, hello. Let me put on some tunes. Some tunes, as it were. Alright, there we are. That should do it, models. Greetings, hello everyone. It's me, Carmine Phlegathon. I'm just about on time, I think. Oh, you mate. I get really nervous about being late. Actually, I get really nervous about being like a second over, a second or a minute over the hour mark. So I'm like, oh no, have they discovered that I'm late? Typically, oh. Hello everyone. Hi. I hope you're all having a great time. I certainly am. I'm having an okay time, but now that you guys are here, it's great. Now that I'm with you all. So, hi. I am Carmine Phlegathon, almighty, powerful, and cursed being, from beyond the ken of mortals. And it is very good to see you all. Today is just a chill, relaxed, kind of chatting stream, which is, I mean, I say relaxed, but I'm always more nervous for these than just well, at first at least, than a video game, and then I get to talking with you, and everything sort of relaxes, which is very nice. I tend to get nervous before stream. I used to get like really nervous before streams, but now I'm only a little bit nervous before I start, and then I just get going. Video games are conversation pieces, and often with video games, because so much of my personality is subsumed by video games, I feel I have more to say about video games than, like... Well, obviously I don't know as much about video games as an expert in video games. I don't know as much about anything. I'm not an expert in anything. But I feel I have more to say about video games than any other topic, which is why, in typical conversation, my options are very restricted, because people will be talking about... Oh, hell, I'm not an MLG pro gamer. Are you kidding me? Absolutely not. No way. No how. Not happening. I'm not good enough. I'm really not good enough at video games for that. I wish I was. I wish I had, like, put in the time to become genuinely good at video games. But, all my time has been spent, you know, frivolously messing around with them instead. So... during normal conversation with people outside of VTubing, that's the one thing about VTubing, is that people seem to be interested in what I have to say about stuff that I'm interested in, which is fantastic, because normally if I try to start up a conversation with some random mortal, or rather, typically a conversation is started up with me, all I have to, like, I don't have any topics. I literally do not have any topics, because I'm like, okay, so I can't talk to them about video games, I can't talk to them about anime, manga, board games, tabletop role-playing games, Oh no. Because I don't know anything about the mortal realm, so I can't talk about the mortal realm. I mostly get talked at about the mortal realm. Also, no, I am not the friend that... I am not the friend that got downed in Chug Jug. I would never play Fortnite. That would be ridiculous. I played PUBG when just before Fortnite Battle Royale became a thing, actually. It's I mean, Battle Royale games, they're okay. They're okay. I actually remember being a bit younger, and when the Hunger Games movies came out, there was a massive craze of Hunger Games Minecraft Battle Royales. Minecraft Hunger Games. You guys know about these? They basically recreated the whole concept, you know, the cornucopia, the big pile of chests in the middle, and then also like an environment, and there would be different maps. At first it was just, you know, like they built maps and then they like held like events, but then like it became like modded servers. Servers that I would frequent. Like the only servers I went to were Skyblock servers and Hunger Games servers. That all typically the Hunger Games servers also would have other mini games, but the Hunger Games servers, you know, you would right click a sign to go into a lobby. You get put into the arena, and then, you know, it's an all out free for all. Those were the days of, what was that, 2012, 2013, somewhere around that era. Back when I played Minecraft with my adolescent friends. Well, like one friend and then his friends. I wasn't exactly drowning in other people to play with, but yeah, Hunger Games Minecraft. Honestly, like battle royales a bit like they're an inherently interesting concept. I mean, ever since like the first, since, you know, the book and film Battle Royale. I've actually read the manga for Battle Royale, which is a very long read and also full of gore and like, yeah. So it's not. I don't know. It's interesting. It was interesting to read the manga adaptation of Battle Royale because it goes into the detail for pretty much every character and their backstory. So like some random extra who gets killed in the movie, you know all about them in the manga. So it's so long because of that. But it's a fun read. It's a fun read. But yes, battle royales. I feel like I've outgrown them. I feel like I've outgrown the concept of the battle royal. After all, if I were to participate in a battle royale, I would destroy everything easily. Speaking of games, I actually Do you guys ever like just kind of come up with ideas for games? Cause I do that somewhat frequently, and it's very annoying. It's very annoying to just suddenly, oh, this would be very cool, and it exists exclusively within my brain, and it will never, ever, ever be reality, Carmine. Ha 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 ha! You've been trapped, you fool! You imagined something cool, and now you will suffer with the knowledge that it will never be complete. Good on you, Cliff. Oh. Yeah, that must be, like, I don't know how. What if you want to tell, like, a character-driven thing? Because, I mean, the players are typically the core of the campaign. In my experience. I haven't DM'd much. But, I often, like, think of, like, character, focused stories. And I also think about specific gameplay elements. The concept of a DMC-style action game set in a kind of fantasy setting that also has, think like Ivalice, Final Fantasy Ivalice. And the player character is an unarmed brawler whose fighting style revolves around disarming enemy soldiers to take their weapons and then can equip a set of 4 weapons assigned to D-pad, assigned to the 4 D-pad buttons. And weapons can break, and then you have to pick up a new one, etc., etc., etc. That's just an example. I think about what would look cool, and then I think, okay, but what gameplay element can like correspond to that? I've never actually seen John Wick, but I do know that it's set in the modern day, so I don't think it's that. I mean, fantasy DMC is gonna happen. It's called Final Fantasy 16. Hey, JC. But yeah, no, I want more action. Yeah, I want more action games. DMC is so nice, and I love me some Astral Chain. But I really want I want more of that, and I really want weapon disarming systems. Wait, did they have gameplay in that FF16 trailer? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And it's the combat guy from Dragon's Dogma and DMC, the combat designer. So, yeah. I am worried that for Final Fantasy 16, we might not get a playable party, but we will at least have good action combat. As opposed to Final Fantasy 15, where it was just hold button. I ever played Dragon's Dogma. I've dabbled with the Dogma. I haven't really come to grips with it. I don't know. It never really clicked with me. I only played like the very first bit of it. But I have heard fantastic things about it, and I have no reason to doubt anything that's been said about it, so I have high hopes based on that for Final Fantasy 16. I mean, it's Final Fantasy, like, tactics-esque setting. What are my thoughts on Ys? I've only played Ys 8. I've unfortunately only Played Ys 8. However, I had so much fun with it, and Falcom games always have such a killer soundtrack, so I mean... Yeah, no, I love Lacrimosa of Dana, and I hope I can go back to earlier Ys games sometime, like 7 and Celceta. And, all that kind of stuff. And then, and play those. But for now, unlike Trails, I've only played one Ys game. And I really hope it's pronounced Ys, because I said Wise for the longest time, but that's apparently wrong. Actually, Kuro no Kiseki, which is the latest Trails game that's gonna come out, the new one, starting the Calvert arc, that's gonna be, that's using it's going to be somewhat more like Ys with the action combat, kind of like Final Fantasy VII Remake, but like you'll be able to switch between action combat and turn-based, and it's very. Here we are. Coat. It's just very interesting. It's very interesting. I love Final Fantasy VII Remake combat for its action combat with ATB. So this will be something a bit different, but still kind of similar. And I listen. I just really like the concept of mixing. Like, I guess that's also kind of why I like Kingdom Hearts. I like taking concepts from turn-based or ATB JRPGs and mixing them with action combat. I think the results are very fun. I just really like that. I understand the appeal of like pure action games a la DMC, but I'm thinking just add some RPG mechanics. Yes, exactly. RPG depth with actions flow. Yeah, I want it to be smooth as silk to play. I want it to just, flow really well. I want the core gameplay to be so satisfying to execute. Listen, when I start a fight in Trails of Cold Steel 4 on some random unsuspecting enemy, I'm on them like a pack of dogs, and they're dead before the minute's out, and then I'm off into the next part of the dungeon. And I really like that. So being able to do that with action combat as well will be amazing. Yeah, that's the big thing about RPGs. If the way I feel to like evolve typical RPGs is just to make the combat flow better, which has been accomplished in some series. Final Fantasy's gone after it in an interesting way by transitioning more to action combat. Well, like I said, Meiji, 7 Remake. It is unfortunately not that fully explored, the combination of the action RPG, or rather like there are others out there, but I just wish there was more of it. Because okay, I would say character action games and would be like second to JRPG in terms of favorite games ever. Like favorite game genre. I really like them, and I want to play them. I want to play more of them. So I would like more of them to exist, please and thank you. Preferably with cool aesthetics and rad soundtrack and fantastic characters and all the trappings. Sippu. So. This is nice. I'm sorry that I've rambled so much about games. Like I said, video games subsume my personality, so, if you take out all the nerd stuff. I actually have played No More Heroes. I got it for the Switch. Which is not my Switch, it's someone else's Switch, but I have access to the Switch. But the point is that when it came out on Switch, I got No More Heroes 1, and I played up to Bad Girl. I think that's her name. And I got stuck, and I stopped. And, honestly, I'm not a big Suda51 fan. Which is a shame, because I know people who are. And, I don't know, like certain auteur game devs just don't click with me. And I have an immense respect. For them. Because, they're clearly geniuses. They clearly have an artistic vision, and they carry it out, and that's fantastic, and that's wonderful. But I would be sooner caught dead than play anything that Yoko Taro made. I don't want to see what's going on there. It's too smart for me. It goes above my head. It just goes above my head, mortals. I appreciate it. I appreciate its existence like you can appreciate the existence of classical literature without reading classical literature. Am I sure? Automata basically sounds like my dream blend of RPG and action. Halbernacht, I've played Nier Automata. I don't like Nier Automata. I don't know why I could possibly like Nier Automata. It's depressing and bleak And the color palette is just so... I mean, it's depressing and bleak. And I think the point is for it to be depressing and bleak, but I don't want to be depressed and bleak all the time. I really don't. And yeah, the action combat just doesn't really it's not my thing. It's not like, especially the bullet hell segments that are a bit. I don't like goth aesthetics. I love goth aesthetics. I just want colorful goth aesthetics. And yes, the combat is lacking compared to DMC. It's very lacking compared to DMC. I'm surprised Platinum made it, because, didn't Platinum do the combat for Nier Automata? Because I think they did. And they also did the combat for Astral Chain, but I would play Astral Chain a million times over before I played Nier Automata. Same people, but so much better. And also, in that game, I am a colorful cybernetic city future police officer with a stand that is attached to me via a chain that I can break to have it act on its own and summon another one, and then I can switch in and pinch hit. Yeah, no, Astral Chain. I'll take that over. I'll take that. Because, yeah, no, I don't know where you can see colorful goth aesthetics. I just Castlevania doesn't seem too, from what I've seen of it, not that I've played a Castlevania game, but it doesn't seem too colorfully, bleak color-wise. So I would imagine you could try something there. Yeah, no, I'm not, okay, yeah, Yoko Taro's, a lot of Nier Automata seems to be different, various flavors of depressing philosophy. And I don't need depressing philosophy, Yoko Taro. I can look into my own brain to find ways to make myself sad. Umineko is colorful goth aesthetic. I will have to get to Umineko, but, Higurashi was one heck of a read. I read Higurashi for 5 years, 4 or 5 years. I mean, suggesting any SMT game to me is a bit I'm not good at SMT, so I'm not good at JRPGs, so I mean, Halbernacht, it wasn't because it was 5 years, it wasn't because it was just so long. It was because I read Higurashi with the Steam release, and it took 5 years for Higurashi to fully come out on Steam since they started releasing it until they released the final chapter. It depends on the bittersweetness of the ending for me. If you got something like Final Fantasy X, I can live with that. I want that. Listen, you can't make me sad without providing me happiness first. You can't just make things bleak all the way through. You must provide me joy and then take it away. You must provide me that's what Higurashi does so well with all of the question chapters. I shouldn't get into too specifics, but basically, if you present to me a joyful, happy, carefree, everyday life, or just, joyful companionship between people, and then I'm not going to give any specific spoilers. I'm not even thinking about Higurashi anymore. If you give me any sort of warm joy in a game, but that is character based, and then you smash it to pieces with a hammer in front of me while I watch, then I will feel, and I will think that is justified. You have successfully earned the making me sad. You don't get to make me sad unless you earn making me sad. You can't just bring up the topic of memory being the loss of memory being the death of the self and being yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sad now. You have to attach that to a character to whom I've grown attached. Yeah, no, I don't want wall-to-wall depressing stuff. That's depressing. I actually haven't played any of the later Yakuza games. I've only played Yakuza 0. IO. So funny you say that. But I enjoyed it immensely. It was a fun game. Fun game. I don't know about getting the new one though, because I kind of liked it as an action beat 'em up. But yeah, I just want to chill. I just want to chill and have a fun adventure with all my pals and maybe save the world. I just want to punch God in the face and save the world. That's what I want to do. I mean, nothing sweeter. Nothing sweeter. Give me a good JRPG party and I will follow them to the ends of the earth. What about punching God in the face and dooming the world? No. No, saving the world. I don't want to doom the world. That's silly. I've played Azura's Wrath. No, I have not played Azura's Wrath. I'm just talking about the common trait of, like, I mean, if it's a JRPG, you know you're going to kill God at some point. You're going to kill a God. Yeah, family-type parties. Family-type parties where, like, it's a found family. Where, like, they've come together. And, you know, united as, like, as a team, as a family. I love Tales of Berseria for its party, even though I dislike the gameplay. I would say slightly more than half of the Final Fantasies, but yeah. You're typically gonna face a god-level threat. Yes, Berseria's party is so good, and they are also a fantastic family unit focused around the development of Laphicet from a doll into a real, emotional, like a grown-up, person. And it's really cool. And they're also all really cool. I don't know. They just fit together so well. I really like that. And Berseria was also what opened my eyes to, you know, JRPGs being anime, so. I mean, it doesn't need to specifically be punches, Halbernacht. I know about the game, like, I know that the game is about punching gods in the face, but I don't need to kill a god specifically with my fists. I'm fine with an axe, I'm fine with a gun, I'm fine with a katana. I mean, whatever you've got for me to work with, let's do this. Let's throw down. It's fine. Rokuro and Aizen were such bros. Ah, there's nothing like a good bro. There's nothing like a good bro in a game. Actually, we were talking about Yakuza 0 earlier, and that's got a good bro, but I know video game characters I like. Did I notice that every party member has a piece of their character that's a Chuny trope? I mean, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what that's got. I don't know what Chunibyo stuff could possibly have to do with me. But yes, the whole point is that they are all extremely various flavors of edge. What's Chuny? Chuny refers to Chunibyo, which is it's a trope. It's a trope from there's anime named after it. It's, what does it translate to? Second grade sickness or something like that. Basically, it's where kids, you know, they play pretend and act as though they are some powerful being, when in reality they are simply normal. Unlike me, I am a genuine, cursed powerful being, and I'm also extremely cool. But yeah, the Berseria party are all rad. I like Velvet. I like Eleanor, I like Magalu, I like Rokuro, I like Aizen, etc, etc, etc. I've always wanted to craft my own JRPG party. Actually, when I was talking about video game concepts earlier, what was on my mind was the idea that struck me the most recently was an action RPG where there are two playable parties of characters that you switch between, and they are trying to each led by one of the two main characters, and they're trying. One of them is ascending from. One of them is descending from the top of a giant tower, and the other one is ascending. So they meet in the middle, and you can you could basically equip party members of Party A to Party B, like personas or stands or stuff like that, to affect their stats and allow them to use moves and combo moves. Because I just thought, yeah, kind of like the Final Fantasy II Extra Dungeon. I've never played the Final Fantasy II Extra Dungeon. Yeah, I know, it sounds like a neat concept. It sounds like a neat concept, but you'd... It's just another case of... Not gonna happen. It's just in my brain, with really cool visuals, and super cool action sequences, that I can't get out of here. What is my favorite JRPG party? Honestly, if it's not Berseria, then it would have to be Final Fantasy VIII. It would probably be Final Fantasy VIII. Wait, Miwu dies? Oh no, the spoilers for Final Fantasy II. I got. No. No. Oh well. I had all my life to play Final Fantasy II, so you win some, you lose some. Yeah, I know, the statute of limitations. I'm just surprised that Miwu died. I have played it up to a point. I have it on PSP, but I haven't cleared it. I've only cleared 1, and 7, and 8, and 13, and 15. I need to clear all Final Fantasies. I actually thought that could be like a project for me to do while like at some point during my VTubing career, but JRPGs, I can't do too much of them. Yeah, the cat's out of the bag on that one. It's fine, it's fine. What's my backlog look like now? I don't really have a backlog as such. I just have games that I want to get to at some point. Like, I'm not somebody who, like, buys games on Steam and thinks, I'll play that later. I don't do that. So I don't really have a backlog as such. The only exception is going to be when, there's stuff that I'm going to have to play on release, like new Trails games and stuff like that. I mean, my Steam list isn't clean, it's filled with games, just... I don't have a massive backlog of... Like, I don't view games as work, like, I've got to get to this. I've got to get to this, and then this. I buy a game when I want to play it. I actually... If VC4 is Valkyria Chronicles 4, I drop Valkyria Chronicles because I'm just too smooth-brained for the gameplay. I've tried it like twice. Just can't do it. Alas, 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 alas. Yeah, no, strategy games and me, we don't play well because I am dumb. And strategy games require you to be smart. So you see, therein lies the inherent conflict. The inherent disconnect. No Disgaea then. Yeah, no. Probably not. I mean, probably not. Probably not. It also doesn't appeal to me with its sense of style and aesthetics and humor and, like, basically everything about this guy I'm not particularly too keen on. And if it's, and again, it's a strategy RPG, so, yeah, nah. I will suck at it if I play it. I mean, it's fine to replay games. I'm a big advocate of replaying games, playing comfort games, especially if they're short, and especially like there are games that I will just play to have something to play. I'm not destroying them. I'm not saying they're bad. I don't see why it's seen as impossible to like not have something to be to your taste while still understanding that yeah, it's good. It's probably good. It's just not for me. There's stuff that I think is genuinely bad. There's games I think are genuinely bad, and they get a different treatment. But there's plenty of games that I'm just genuinely not cool enough to play. Like, take Etrian Odyssey. Etrian Odyssey has a cool sense of aesthetics, amazing soundtracks, you know, good-looking characters. Yeah, FOE. The dungeon crawling, you know, drawing your own map. I have the Millennium Girl on DS. Etrian Odyssey kicks me up the behind. It destroys me. It annihilates me. Akin to Bahamut's Mega Flare. It is unmerciful and unforgiving. And I will never ever clear an Etrian Odyssey game because I'm simply too much of a scrub. So I have to look on from behind like a glass window pane, from like outside in the cold, while in the warm all the cool Etrian Odyssey players are have ground through. See, losing its fun style of gameplay, I feel like only particularly hits me hard for like games like where it's more action oriented, like DMC. I mean you could always like give it a go if that's the only contact you have with it. It is apparently it is a DS gem. I would consider the series a DS gem. I mean, I literally got into it because, back when the Millennium Girl was releasing, Etrian Odyssey Untold, the Millennium Girl, there's a song from that called Destruction Begets Decay, and it was used in a trailer that auto-played on YouTube as an ad. And I saw that, and I heard that music, and I was like, yes, must play. So you see, also, that's not the first time I've tried to play an RPG based entirely off how cool the soundtrack is, and failed miserably. There's also the Atelier. There's also Blue Reflection and the Atelier series. I can't play anything made by Gust. I've tried to play stuff made by Gust. I just get too gut-wrenchingly bored. I just which is such a shame. Such a shame. I was so hyped for Blue Reflection, because of the really cool, like the battle theme for it is amazing, and then it's just not for me. You see. Which sucks because like Atelier is conceptually really cool. Atelier is conceptually really cool, but I tried an Atelier game and I just could not get into it. Couldn't stomach it. Which sucks because it happened. Which sucks because I tried that because I heard it was Atelier Sophie, I think, and I tried it because I heard like a special version of Spring Wind Skylark, which I think is the battle theme. It just I don't know. It doesn't click with me, and I wish it did, but it does not. I'm just not cultured enough. I'm just not cultured enough to like understand certain video games. Your mecha JRPG reps. Is there a good slew of mecha JRPG with which to sup upon? I should hope so. Oh yeah, Octopath. Octopath is another one. I dropped Octopath almost immediately after picking up like my second character. Why would you play? Why would you? Octopath? Why would you like create a party that basically have all their stories be disconnected? You have taken away like the strongest element of the JRPG, which is the bond between party members. What are you talking about? You fools! Why would you do this? Front Mission, Xenogears, Rune Factory. I have not played any of these. Front Mission, Ring of Red, Xenogears. So Xenogears has the only okay. Why are we only talking about games that I can't play? Why are we talking about games that like I don't like that filter me? I don't understand, because like now with Xeno, I feel I have to bring up the fact that I tried Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that game is I don't understand it. I just can't. I can't with it. I will pass, thank you. I feel like such a pleb all the time, you know? I feel like such a pleb. I'm trapped. I'm just not cultured enough for video games. I'm not cultured enough. I'm not cultured enough in video games, but I don't have anything else. So I'm a plebeian in all respects. It sucks. Actually, I do have a. What's the worst video game that I've actually played? Let me think about that for a second. But I actually do have my favorite mecha. I actually do have a favorite mecha RPG, but I can't say what it is because the fact that it's a mecha RPG is a bit of a twist. So I can't actually tell you what it is. But you should play everything that I recommend to you, so that you get to it. I'm not gonna spoil it because I didn't know when I played it for the first time, and it blew my brain like wide open. It was amazing. So I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell, and I haven't played it on stream. I'm not gonna tell. I'm not gonna tell. But it is very. I quite like it. I quite like it. What is the worst video game I've played? Oh, I know what the worst video game I've played. Ooh, actually, wait, no, hold on. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Okay, for worst video game, I have to choose between Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 15. It's one of those two. Because they're both so exquisitely bad and also in different ways. I don't typically play shovelware, so there's probably like tons of bad games that are worse than these. But like if I can see that a game is bad before I even pick it up, why would I play it? I'm not dumb. I'll just play a game that appears to be good, and then I find out that it's not, and I am betrayed as the dagger of Square Enix slips into my back. But yeah, no. Final Fantasy 13 or Final Fantasy 15. I had good taste as a kid. Not particularly. I was just in an environment where I didn't have too much control over what I played because it was all hand-me-down. I didn't really... If I had to choose between 13 and 15, which would I say that I like better? That is a difficult question, because Final Fantasy 13 is painfully yeah, 13 did have a banger of soundtrack. Yeah, hell, that's true, because it has the god-tier soundtrack of Masashi Hamauzu. However, 15, while it handles its soundtrack worse, still has wonderful stuff made by Yoko Shimomura. So you can't really fault 15 for the soundtrack either, it's just poorly used. So, the thing with 13 is that it's painfully linear. It's painfully linear, excruciatingly linear, and with a gameplay system in which you cannot change your party members until halfway through the game. And the paradigm system where you do not actually... Yeah, painfully linear versus painfully non-linear. Final Fantasy 15 is a bad open world game. It's a terrible open world game. Honestly, they proved that the problem with Final Fantasy 13 was not that it had been too linear, because they made it an open world game and it also sucked. So it was, you know... Congratulations, Square Enix. But, yeah, what am I trying to think of? Final Fantasy 13. I mean, like, with both of them, the gameplay feels uninvolved. Like you're like a... That is a perfectly hot take. That is a hot take, Liv Chef. And you're wrong. But it's okay. I'll love you anyway. Mortals, I'll love you even if you're wrong. But the combat for Final Fantasy 15 is garbage. It's terrible. It's one button. And the party members weren't playable on launch, and it took them 2 years to patch everything and change everything, and then they have this weird, awkward system where the party members, if you switch to them, you play their version of gameplay that they have for their DLC missions, and it's radically different from the core gameplay of the original. And it's just... But looking back, doesn't 12 and 13 both involve a system where you don't have much direct control? Yes. However, with 12, it has the cool thing of, you know, it has gambits and, like, interesting ways to build your character, and it has the license boards, which are different depending on whether you're playing original or Zodiac Age. But in 13, all you have is the Crystarium, which looks like the Sphere Grid, but is actually a lie, an elaborate plot to make the game seem more interesting and more in-depth than it actually is, because it's just a linear progression that they manually make you go through for no reason, because they're insane. You can't customize your characters, they just exist as they are, and they have I mean, eventually you can. Eventually, once you're over the halfway point of the game, you can make Lightning you could make Lightning a synergist if you wanted to. But why? You have no reason to do that. There's literally no reason to make Lightning a synergist. There's no reason to do that. It's lunacy. You won't even have enough experience. You won't even have enough experience. It's not like the Sphere Grid where you can, like, barring locks, just go anywhere and do anything. The Crystarium is literally just, oh, here's a linear thing. There are occasionally branches, but you're gonna want to get those anyway. And there's, like, no customization, so it's just all about building paradigms, which means that the Crystarium is entirely pointless. So the progression of the Crystarium is just... It doesn't make any sense. Why would they manually have you acquire CP, and then you have to manually spend it, when it's all just... pointless? Doesn't it split later? Like I said, later you can make Lightning a synergist, but you have no reason to do so. Oh, if you mean, doesn't the option in an individual, role Crystarium change? No. It doesn't split. It's linear all the way from the first to the last. And, it gets blocked off every chapter. Like you have to clear the story to keep expanding the Crystarium. Expanding being a funny word, it just means, you've unlocked the next stage of linear progression for your 3 roles for this character. Yada, yada, yada. And Eidolons are dumb, and Gestalt is stupid. And I've spent so many hours playing that game. I've served my time. I've played both. I've played both so much. I've cleared Final Fantasy 15 2 times, and I've cleared Final Fantasy 13 1 time. I have like 100 hours in 15, and probably close to that in 13. I don't care what touching music plays during the ending of Final Fantasy XIII, an ending that should not have happened because they deliberately decided to do an actual Deus Ex Machina at the end. During the very final climactic confrontation, they decide to completely throw out the rules that we have been operating under this entire point and just magically fix everything. Which we later learn, apparently, in later Final Fantasy XIII installments, was literally divine intervention. You don't just get to do that. You don't just get to do that. And if you think you do get to do that, I need to take you and lock you in a little padded cell and just leave you there to stew for a week while I lecture you on why you're such a fool. It's just... You undermine your entire story. You were trying to tell a story about the inevitable. Like, where they have a destiny that they can't avoid, and then you straight up just say, yeah, no, here at the end, we're just gonna, like, magically wave all our problems away, and then, like, have this weird, terrible final boss fight. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have such vitriol. I apologize. How many years were wasted on those 3 games? Too much. Too much. 13.2 is actually a little bit better. If you ignore the fact that in 13.2 you travel to the future and make changes in the future, and that creates changes in the past, because they have decided to flip causality on its head in a way that was, and the way in which that is explained to me, made absolutely no sense. I don't understand Final Fantasy XIII-2. I haven't gotten to the end of you, but I got pretty far, and I don't understand why you think that you can send me into the future to change things, and then that changes the past. No, I haven't played Lightning Returns. Why would I make this mistake a 3rd time? I literally played Final Fantasy XIII and then went out and bought Final Fantasy XIII-2. That is how much of a lunatic I am. Do you really think I would be even more insane? Was 13.2 the 14th or 15th one? What do you mean the 14th or 15th one? It's 13.2. If you're asking if it was the 14th or 15th Final Fantasy, it's not any of that. 13.2 isn't... Oh, I see. You're asking if it, like, adds together. No. It's a sequel to Final Fantasy 13 because Final Fantasies are interconnected. So if they want to do something like Final Fantasy 10-2 where it's the same universe, then, yeah, they just add a 2 onto it. That's why you have Final Fantasy 12-2, Revenant Wings. But yeah, ultimately they don't count as mainline FF games because they are, sequels. Yeah, for the DS, it's a tactical RPG. It's kind of been out a while. Vaughn's a Sky Pirate in it. Alright, so there's a 12, a 12-2, a 13, a 13-2, a 14, and a 15. Well, yeah, obviously. Because you have Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, and then you have 10-2, and that's a separate thing, and it's not in the same number, it's not in the same ascending list. So ignore 10-2, and go to 11, and then 12, ignore 12-2, go to 13, ignore 13-2, and then, you're up to 14, then 15, and now 16. Isn't that, Square Enix makes total sense with their naming schemes. Isn't that right, Kingdom Hearts 3, the 12th game in the Kingdom Hearts franchise? Easy. Don't get me started on Kingdom Hearts, we'll never stop. But it's all very rudimentary to understand. It's all very simple. Numbered mainline Final Fantasy games don't interact. There's technically 2 14s, right? Since A Realm Reborn is different. I mean, yes and no. Because you have Final Fantasy 4... Okay. Yes and no. Technically, it's all the same universe. But if we're saying that A Realm Reborn is different from vanilla FF14, which is true, we also, like, must consider the expansions, and so that would mean there's actually 5 Final Fantasy 14s, because you have Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn, Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward, Final Fantasy 14 Stormblood, and Final Fantasy 14 Shadowbringers, and there's going to be a 6th with Endwalker. When will Kingdom Hearts V-Cast reveal its important to Kingdom Hearts canon? That's a deep pull, Elliot. We're not even going to get into that. Hoo boy. Let's have the classic, well, that fantasy wasn't final, yuck yuck now, please. That is such a typical joke. That's such a typical joke. But it literally was, because when they made it, that was going to be Final Fantasy 1 was going to be Squaresoft's final game. They weren't going to make another one. It was it. It was their death knell. It was the last thing Sakaguchi was going to do. So he made it, and then it turned out really well, and it was okay. So they started making sequels. That's why it's called Final Fantasy. It's very simple. It's very easy to understand. I don't see why, like, it's somehow, like, weird for there to be a Final Fantasy 2. It's a separate fantasy, isn't it? Separate Final Fantasy. So, also they did pretty much just make Final Fantasy 1 by ripping off, Dungeons and Dragons and adding their own spin to it. But it worked well. And I'm very glad that it did. Honestly, fun. I love how, like, it's interesting. I've been pigeonholed as the Final Fantasy lover guy. Like this VTuber loves Final Fantasy, and I'm just sitting here like, I must never ever talk to them in depth about Trails because I love it so much more. You have no idea. It's so much better. It's the Apex JRPG series. Like, I grew up with Final Fantasy, and when I became an adult, I fell in love with Trails. Once I matured. It's the Apex. No, like as in it's the pinnacle of JRPG series. Yeah, it's the Apex. It's the top. Everyone I know who likes Trails really likes Trails because, of course, they like Trails because Trails is the way to be. Have I played the other Legend of Heroes games, or just Trails? I only started with Trails in the Sky, so yes, only Trails. Is Trails the series that's full of steampunk airships? You're going to have to narrow it down. That's half of all JRPGs in the world. I know, right? The divergent evolution of Japanese fantasy derived from D&D is super interesting. It's just, like, they've come up with their own thing. Like, slimes being a basic enemy in, like, Dragon Quest. And, like, in, like, all the media based on stuff like Dragon Quest. While in original D&D, a slime cube is, like, not necessarily to be trifled with. But yes, Trails is god tier, and you should all play it. Because it's the best JRPG series, and you should start with the Trails in the Sky, because you should. And also, Estelle Bright, the protagonist of Trails of the Sky, is one of the greatest characters of all time, and also literally your bally goddess. Like, seriously. Play it. Understand and acknowledge. But yeah, no. It's like, people who, like, the reason that, like, people who play Trails really like Trails is simply because Trails is simply really, really good. Really good. Yes, it is the world building. Okay. Let me just give you a little something about Trails. Let me explain. Let's talk about Final Fantasy VII, right? Real quick. Let me use that as a framework, as an example. If you talk to an NPC in Final Fantasy VII, then that just a random NPC sitting on the side of the street. Maybe they're in Midgar, in the Wall Market. Maybe they're in Calm. Anyway, listen. That NPC's line of dialogue might change 3 to 5 times throughout the entire game as the events of the world change. In a Trails game, an NPC's dialogue will change after every event of the story. After every after every story event. Every thing where a cutscene will play. It will change. Because it will be a different time of day. And NPCs have a consistent a consistent narrative that they flow along for the entire game, interacting with other NPCs in their own self-contained stories that you would never know about if you didn't talk to them. And that's just all there in the background. And that's there in all Trails games. And it's also why they're so annoying to translate, because they have so much dialogue just devoted to optional NPCs that you don't even have to talk to, but you can literally just go around after every sequence and talk to everyone, and they will all be saying a different thing, and they will all be continuing their own personal narratives, and that will, continue on. You can get attached to characters that you never need to interact with at all, at any point. It's fantastic. Yeah, I know about that. It's Carp Fulger was involved in the original Sky translation, but then, afterwards it was a full XC job until we moved on to Nisa. And obviously with Trails from Zero and now, the Crossbell arc, you want Geofront is the fan translators for that, trying to adhere to the XC Nisa style. Although I played the Guren translation because Geofront wasn't available when I played Zero, so the translation was spotty. I actually wish I got tricked into playing. I got tricked into playing Trails of Cold Steel before the Crossbell arc. Don't do it. If you want to get into Trails, here's the roadmap. It's very simple. I'll outline it very quickly for you. You play Trails in the Sky, then you play Trails in the Sky a second chapter, or SC, then you play Trails in the Sky the third. Then you play a fan translation for Trails from Zero, or Zero no Kiseki, and then you play a fan translation for Ao no Kiseki, both of them being in the Crossbell arc, the Crossbell arc being possibly the best that Trails has to offer. And then you move on to Trails of Cold Steel 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4. It's very easy, very simple. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Have I got that right? No, 9. Just 9 JRPGs. Yes, correct. You messed up. Don't play Trails of Cold Steel 1 first. Because eventually, by the end of Cold Steel 4, it's like a crossover with Crossbell and the Sky arc, so you really gotta approach it in the proper order. That's what I'm saying. Also, it has the best magic system in a JRPG, which is the orbments, which are akin to materia, but I actually can't go. I can't go on about this. I'll just be here all day. So how about that weather? Or, well, quick, Carmine, think. What is a topic that everyone, can... What is a topic that everyone can, talk about? Think, I can't just ramble at them. It's a conversation. You're blowing it, Carmine! You fool! Oh no. Blanking. Mind blanking. Going critical. Overload. Bzz. How about those superhero movies, am I right? I've actually basically seen the only thing in the MCU that I think that I've seen, other than maybe the original Iron Man when I was a kid, would be Spider-Man Far From Home. You bet the story of Trails isn't as good as the Doom world FF13 creates, though. Velik, how do I remove you from everything? How do I do that? How do I do that? How does Twitch work? There we are. No, it's a timeout. It's a timeout. It's a timeout. It's fine. I'll untime her out. It's fine. It's fine. I reversed it. Now you will have learnt your lesson. Please don't ever say something that terribly wrong just to get a reaction out of me, because you will succeed in getting a reaction out of me. Honestly, I would respect you more if you truly believed that. I would respect you more if you truly believed that and were just wrong, but you were deliberately trying to bait me, which I take issue with. Well, I wouldn't know about Pokemon Black, so... Anyway, what's my favorite anime? It's Trigun. It's Trigun. Because of course it's Trigun, because it has the, you know, the thing that the opening that goes da 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 ba da ba ba da ba ba da bow 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 ba da bow ba da ba ba da bow ba da ba da ba da bow ba da ba da 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 ba 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 da bow ba da ba da ba da ba da bow ba da ba ba da ba da ba ba da ba down we ba 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 ba. Okay, but I mean, it's got Vash the Stampede, who is my all-time favorite character and my, I guess, my fictional idol. Because he's the best. If you haven't watched it, you should watch Trigun. It's a fantastic, kind of space western. Well, not entirely, but I mean, it's a western, basically. And it's very interesting. And Vash the Stampede is such a very interesting character. I highly recommend. I have it on disc. On the DVD. On the DVD. But there's no slew of good anime. There's no slew. No, I mean, there's no shortage of good anime. There's a slew of good anime. There we are. Yeah, Trigun's made by Madhouse and it's really good. It's a manga adaptation, but I like the anime most. I mean, not even... It's fine, Val. I'm not like actually mad at you or anything. I just thought I'd have some fun timing you out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want anyone to feel... I'm sorry. I don't want anyone to feel like they can't talk in my streams. That would be terrible. I feel like I go too far sometimes. I have too much fun. Oh, yeah. What do you mean give them a... What do you mean give... No, I'm not giving a free redeem. Velik bullies me all the time. No. No, I'm not gonna... No. Anyway. But there's no shortage of good anime. Or manga. Like, I mean, getting into my... I mean, Alice in Borderland is my favorite manga. If you also want to know my favorite manga, it's Alice in Borderland, which unfortunately has no good animated adaptations. But there's also there's a ton of great anime. Like, if we're talking about like stuff that I've got physical on disc versions of, I've got Princess Principal, I've got Sword Art Online GGO Alternative, I've got Beautiful Bones, Sakurako's Investigation, I've got Akuma no Riddle. Well, my favorite manga is Alice in Borderland, which is a delightful death game manga that you should read. There's just so much good stuff out there. I'm surprised by... honestly, Models, I'm surprised by how so many people are so mainstream when it comes to anime and manga. Like, I understand that, like, mainstream is as mainstream does. Like, there's a reason mainstream is mainstream. But there's simply so much good anime and manga that are out there that I'm surprised that, like, if you ask people for their tastes, a lot of people will answer with the same, like, mainstream shows. As opposed to, you know, more out there stuff. Like, I think My Hero Academia is fun, but I'm just kind of, like, it's everyone's favorite? Like, don't you have, like, you gotta have something else up your sleeve, right? Oh, no, Meiji, you should keep trying to recommend, keep up the good fight. Keep recommending Kaiji. Kaiji's great. How do you know that, Elliot, how do you know that kids talk about anime nowadays in schools? Have you been to a school recently? To like, see them chattering away their little kid teeth at it? Ah, yeah. That would explain it. Oh, no. If I was a kid talking about anime, I would hate to hear that my teacher had, like, listened into what I was saying. I'm pretty sure no kid talks, expecting their teacher to hear them. Oh. Velik, I hereby grant you the title of The Whisper of the Blue Butterfly Lake. You've heard students talk about Danganronpa kinning. Alright, humanity was a fun experiment. I think it's time we pull the plug. That's it. We're done. No more. Let's move on. That's, we had a good run. We had a good run. No! No! Don't ask me that, Velik. No. 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 I wish I didn't know. I wish I didn't know what that was. I wish I hadn't heard of it. I'm not no. No. Okay. Alright. Models, this is a very brief lecture because I'm not an expert on the subject. I will briefly explain, as I understand it, what kinning is. Alright. So... oh, bromine. Hello, dudes. I'm Bromine, here to explain to you what kinning is, as far as I understand. I don't know about the Final Fantasy House fiasco, but let me explain it as I've seen it. Basically, kinning is where somebody thinks that they are that character. They act as though they're, like, it is like a form of self-identity where they identify so strongly with that character that they are that character. So when somebody has in their profile that they are, for example, a Cloud Strife kin from Final Fantasy VII, they believe they are Cloud Strife, and they would ask that you treat them as if they were Cloud Strife. Yes. I really wish I didn't have to explain this to you, bros. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, dudes. I don't like it at all, dudes. It's scary. Bros. I don't know. No, instead of wolves, it's Danganronpa kinning would be about the anime characters from the series of Danganronpa. I have seen this in some facets of the Danganronpa fandom. Some people will say that they are a Nagato Komaeda kin, and then they will be just... it's very weird and uncomfortable. Dudes. I don't like it. It's very scary. It's very scary. Mortals. Dudes. I don't know. There's a lot about this world that I don't understand. And there's also plenty I feel, bros, that I don't want to understand. And this is one of them. Yeah. So that's a very depressing topic, because I just, I don't know how to segue the conversation away from this, bros, but it's killing me inside, dudes. Dudes. The topic was mainstream anime. Well, bros, if we can revert to that, I mean, I think I said all I wanted to say. Basically, I just wanted to say to people who watch basic anime to try, like, more obscure stuff. Not even very obscure. What's the cringiest thing I've done in school? Well, dudes, I don't think I did anything cringe in school. All I did was that when I walked from say class A to class B, I would sing various Disney songs out loud, and also stuff like Pure Imagination and If I Only Had a Brain, bros. But I didn't care what anybody else thought, so it wasn't really cringe, I don't think. I had this wonderful phase when I was younger where I just did not care, and then it ended, and now I do care about what people think of me, and it's very weird. What are my out there favorites of the current season? I am not watching the current season. I am unfortunately behind on current seasonal anime watching. Have I read Blue Lock? No, I have not. I was not training for a musical. Absolutely not. During that phase of my school life, I was never in drama club. I was never in drama. I couldn't take it. I wasn't eligible for the course. Bros. I'll pass on the soccer manga, thanks. I'm not much of a sports fan, except for baseball. And I've read 1 ounce, so... Actually, although I actually have read a soccer manga. It's called My Ball. I've read My Ball. M-A-I-B-A-L-L. My Ball. It's about a soccer team that is, like, all are crushing on the same dude who is their coach. Would I prefer to be the, prince rescuing a princess, or be a prince rescued by a tomboy princess with a princely military uniform? The latter, obviously. Because she would have those cool epaulettes. And maybe a cape. I dig capes. I dig chicks in capes. Yeah, definitely the latter. I'm certainly not opposed to doing some rescuing of my own, though. For some reason, I imagine the tomboy princess bursting through the wall, riding on a tank while drawing a saber. Well, when an author is good at mental gambits, they can make mental gambits about anything. That's the good thing about psychological battle manga, I think. It's very versatile. You can do a lot with it. You can do that and this and this and that with it. But yeah, no, I'm not a big sports person. I have dabbled in a lot of sports. When I was a really young kid, I played basketball, but that didn't work out too well. And it was mostly like non-competitive sports after that, or rather like not typical team competitive sports. So stuff like karate, archery, fencing, horse riding, ninjutsu. Trying to think if there's anything else. No, I think that's everything, yeah. That's everything I went to. I am not dunk mine. I cannot dunk. I cannot play the ball. I cannot play the ball. I would much rather play, I don't know, lawn bowls or bocce or something. Or croquet. I've never ridden a horse on the beach. I actually, when I did horse riding lessons that I had to do a paper route to pay for half of, when I did horse riding lessons, I never got past, I think I got up to canter once. I have never galloped on a horse. I have mostly only walked and trotted. Cause it goes walk, trot, canter, gallop. In terms of speed. And I don't know if I would, I don't know if I would do 2 beach horse rides. Did I do jumping? No. Actually, because I was mostly interested in if because obviously young me thought I'm gonna do something involving horses once I learn how to ride, but I obviously didn't. But I thought I wasn't interested in horse racing. When I got into horses, what I wanted to do was dressage, which is, you know, just kind of looking good and doing little tricks, and you know, and being flashy. Well, like I said, we did, we just did cantering the once. And there was no jumping. I've never jumped on a horse. I mean, I've hopped on a horse. Rather, like I've gotten on a horse. But I have not made the horse jump. And this was a long time ago, mortals. Ages ago now. So I probably, would not be able to ride a horse now. Yeah, horse riding is fun. Horse riding is fun. But, I mean, I can't remember basically any of those skills. I'm not posh. I'm not posh. I had to really beg, and I had to pay for half by the paper route. And it, a horse riding holiday once. Well, I suppose it's not for everyone. I mean, nothing is for everyone. People enjoy scuba. It's a uniform. It's a uniform, Hal. I have to wear the necktie. I'm simply not posh, darling. I've just been afforded more experiences than the common riff-raff. I shouldn't have read that out in a posh voice. I'm gonna get made fun of for it now. Oh no. Riff-raff. Riffu-raffu. Maybe in the bromine voice to blunt it, no. I've never heard of Baron. I've never heard of Baron Halbernacht. I don't know if I could handle maximum over posh. Although, if I can wear a cravat, I'll consider it. I want to wear a cravat. Cravats are cool. Ah, yeah, I could see why that would get you banned. Alas. Oh right, and even before, even before basketball, I did track. I did a little bit of track track running. Just personal best stuff. That was the other thing. Alright. Although I can run decently well now, but I'm mostly a walker. I walk places, I stride places. I stride hither and thither. For everywhere that I go to awaits my arrival with bated breath, mortals. Alright, code on. Who did I choose in Cold Steel? Hint, the correct answer is Laura or Sarah. Your taste is entirely fine, and I'm not gonna fault it. But for me, for the first two, it's Sarah, and then it's after that, it's Muse. I don't stride. I saunter and dawdle. I've never sauntered in my life. I have no cause to saunter. I'm not a gallivanting sword. I don't saunter, or strut, or preen, or prance. Okay, I might do a bit of prancing. Have you ever tried skipping while you walk, mortals? You know, skipping. It's you know, it's a kind of like a different gait than walking. I don't know how to describe, you know, skipping while you walk other than that. I don't know like how specifically just to describe the movement of your leg. But yeah, no, I've done that. Sometimes while I was singing, you know, from class to class in school, I would skip. Sometimes while I was singing from class to class in high school, I would skip as well. Skipping is fun to do. It is fun to do on occasion. It's very cheerful. Just skipping just puts you in a good mood. I mean, you don't walk really, like, because skipping is its own thing, so you skip. Not just Disney songs, also sometimes pure imagination and If I Only Had a Brain. It was probably mostly If I Only Had a Brain that I skipped to, actually, because you know it makes you feel like, you know, like it's a song that's good for skipping to. I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. You see how that song would be easy to skip to? You see? But yeah, no, yeah, skipping is fun. So, you know what else is fun? And this is the smoothest segue you're ever gonna get from me. Chess. Chess is fun. Even if I'm terrible at it, like really bad. I'm abysmal at chess. But it was a fun game to play, like between like during school lunchtimes and stuff like that. Along with stuff like Uno and stuff like that. But, I don't know, I just find chess kind of interesting with how it's basically a solved game and yet people play it anyway and there's all these different people with their ELO ratings and yada yada yada. I have occasionally thought about just being like, alright, let's get good at chess. But I should try 5D chess with multiverse time travel. I've seen that game, I have no interest in it. Well, yeah, no, computers play it, and it is an essentially solved game, yes, because there's no element of randomness in it. There is such a thing in chess as perfect play. It's only our limitation. It's because the game is complex enough that our limitations as humans prevent us from always perfect play. Oh yeah, check is completely solved. Yeah, chess is fun. Chess is fun, even if I'm bad at it. Although I mean, board games are just fun in general. Backgammon, or playing a bit of Uno. Or Trouble. I like board games. They're fun. They're like any kind of game like that where you can just play with someone. Sounds like I want a board game night. I do want a board game night. I've always wanted a board game night. I wish every night were board game night. Like I said, I love board games. I only own the one board game, which is too much already because I have no one to play board games with. Okay, well, I have two if you count my Mahjong set. Plays Uno with the cards revealed and wins. Oh, what a move. What a move. I like to use a move where I just tell my opponent what I have. That's what I'll often do that in what I'll often do in rock paper scissors is I'll declare moves. I'll be like, okay, we're playing rock paper scissors. I'm gonna throw scissors. And it's such a fun little psychological trick. Oh hell, Mahjong is really easy. Mahjong is, well, it's not too easy, but it's fun enough. It's basically just a more complex version of poker where you're building your hand throughout the game based on drawing tiles and discarding tiles, trying to build towards a winning hand. And you can also pick up discards, but that opens your hand, and it's a whole thing. But it is quite fun. I highly recommend looking into it. But yeah, declare the move and actually do the move. Statue. Declare the move and actually do the move. That's what that's my move. That's what I recommend. It doesn't work for longer, more protracted things because the enemy can figure you out psychologically. I was actually really on the subject of psychological warfare. I was actually really looking forward to the Among Us collab that I was going to be a part of, but then had to cancel at the last minute because they were having issues with their server, and everyone else played instead. We got Egg as a substitute for me, which was fantastic, especially on such short notice. I should have checked earlier, but I was really looking forward to that because I was going to the psychological warfare of playing imposter. I hope to play I know some people do Among Us with viewers, and I thought Among Us with viewers would be cool. But at the same time, I don't know if I have enough viewers interested in Among Us that they would flock to such a stream. Speaking of board games, have I played Dominion? I have not. I have played a woeful number of board games. I have not played nearly enough board games. I have played there's so many board games, and I have played so few of them because they require somebody to have the board game and also enough people available to play it and willing to play it. It's every time that I'm turning over over here, I'm looking at my my $200 board game that I've played twice, and just sighing. Hello, Shimada Tiger. Why am I in a basket? Gets boring without expansions, though. I mean, I suppose if you play a board game long enough, then anything can be boring without expansions. I don't know if Among Us needs an ELO. It's more of a casual game. It's not really. It's not the same. I mean, there's a psychological element, so it's not the same as chess. I am not a basket boy. I'll have you know. But yeah, I have actually thought of playing games with viewers, but I feel like I'm not big enough as a tuber yet to a VTuber to play games with viewers. But I want to play Among Us and Of Gods with Thieves, which is a little gem of a game where you play which I believe that there's a base version free on Steam where you play one team is the the stealth guys and the other team is the guards. I mean, if you're talking about Among Us, they're working on profiles. That whole thing with that update with accounts and stuff is what caused the game to straight up not work for me, and you know, at a really pivotal moment. So I am less than interested in your stupid account system, Among Us. You didn't need it. That's all I have to say about that. But yeah, I've got with these. I like stealth. I kind of like stealth games, but I'm not good at stealth. But I enjoy stealth, and I'd love to play collaborative stealth with viewers. But like I said, I'm not big enough yet. I'm not big enough yet to be able to play games with viewers. One day, in the far-off year of 2099. Carmine Plegathon finally plays Among Us with viewers. I've actually also thought of doing a stream where I just kind of improv, where I do. I've just thought of a stream where I just tell a story, basically, and I might draw little terrible looking slides to accompany it, and doing voices for the characters and whatnot. But I don't know how interesting that would be. But I do think about it occasionally. VTubing is interesting because it gives you a lot of freedom over your. All right. Flip the coin. Heads is Velik, tails is Bunzel. I only have the 2 masks at the moment. Tails, so I have to add Bunzel now. Oh wait, no, I have it. Wait, no. Wrong one. That's the... Okay. Add new source. You're gonna regret this, Meiji. You know not what you've wrought. You know not what you've wrought. So this is a mask of Bunzel. It's not Fishing Wednesday. It's not Fishing Wednesday. Yep, the coin came up tails this time, Velik. It's Bunzel. Hi. Fishing. It's not Fish Gaming Wednesday. It's not. It's not. I can't fish. I've gone fishing once in my life. I really can't fish, mortals. I can't fish. I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a fisherman. I have not heard of that board game blog now. It's Rabbitzel VTuber. I'm not Bunzel. I'm not Bunzel, though. It's a clever disguise. You see? I'm just hiding behind this mask. Gee. Alright, though. Yes, it was a trick. I was not really Bunzel. It was me, Carmine, the whole time. Bam Bunzeled. It's orange. It's meant to be orange. His eyes are orange, so I drew orange. I drew orange eyes. Look, this is the I was slightly intoxicated because it was the celebration stream, and this is the best I can draw. This is actually an emote for Bunzel that I was paid 50 of something in some currency for. Like something, crones or something. Blood orange. No. Not worth it. Nothing is worth it. This is not worth it. This is not worth it. I'm pretty sure this is Bunzel's tier 2 emote, actually. I think this is Bunzel's tier 2 emote. I think he said that in his tweet. I can't remember. I hope not. Or rather, I hope so, because if he does add it, then nobody will be able to use it. I'm not a commissioned artist. I'm not an artist. I can't draw. I don't know what is more of a, you know, an advertisement for that fact than the fact that, like, you're looking at it right now. Look at that. But yeah. Ugh. Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. I suck. Oh no. I'm very sorry that the only emote that I have for you guys is so poorly drawn. I've got to get better ones. I hope I will get. I hope I will have better ones. Look at that grin. It mocks me. Every time I see that, I wince with pain. This is very hard for me right now because I'm looking at this dumb Bunzel emote that I'm wearing as a mask. As if I carved off his face and then threw it through a like disfigurement machine. Cease! I didn't... Cease. I didn't... Please stop posting the emote. Oh no, Meiji, please don't use it. Another stream. Other VTubers have seen it. Oh no. I must commit seppuku from the shame. I genuinely just... Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, mortals. Please no. It's really bad. It's really bad. Like, what would Carmine's preferred other world be? I'm thinking. You can't see it now, but I'm pondering. I'm pondering, ponder. I'm honestly bad with this sort of question. Because I think about it for so much and never get, like, back to, I go around in my own head a lot with it. I guess it would be some sort of JRPG-esque world with fantasy, like with swords and guns and magic, basically. That's what I want to have I want to have like a sword and a gun that is also a sword and a sword that is also a gun, and also maybe a spear. I wouldn't survive in that world though. I would perish. Because firstly, if the gender roles are reversed and the house husbands are the default role, I would need you need a wife to be a house husband. That much is very obvious, and obviously that's not gonna happen for me. So and secondly, even if that does occur, I'm a terrible I'm terrible at all kinds of chores. I can't cook and I can't clean. I basically can't do anything associated with it, so it just wouldn't work. I'd perish. That would be a dangerous environment for me. I mean, yeah, dump trucks isekai. That's how it be. That's how it be, Egg. I do know how to eat hot chip, but I am obviously a very powerful cursed being. I'm not a Chunibyo. And, I mean, I can only lie in fake settings. Like, I can't lie to you right now about stuff, mortals. I'm not capable of it. I could only lie to you if we were, like, playing Among Us or Mafia or something, in which case I would mercilessly tell you... I would whisper sweet nothings of deceit into your ear as I slide my blade into your backs. Because that's how it be. Oh, is this a meme? Is this a meme? Have I explained how I got the scar on my right eye? It is a mystic symbol. It is a mystic symbol of power. Oh, Bunzel, no, you've seen it! I'm sorry that I'm wearing the mask of you. Please. Wait, no, hold on, he posted... No. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. And for the reference, it is both a tattoo and a scar. It's a scar, but I filled it in with a tattoo. I'm not a famed emote artist. I am not a famed emote artist. Do not call me that. That's highly inaccurate. Yes, it's a scar that I, you know, inscribed magic ink into. I'm not a delinquent, okay? I'm a powerful and cursed being. It's not like I drew this on with marker or something. I totally didn't draw this on with marker. I definitely did not draw this on with marker, mortals. I'm so embarrassed. Do the masks I make grant powers like the ones in Majora's Mask? Somehow, Egg, my masks are even more cursed than the masks of the mask salesman. Wouldn't you know it? And yet, without the requisite power. Oh, it's rip-off song. Fantastic. Without the they can't do anything, basically. They just make me look stupid. Wait. Not to say that I think the VTubers that these are masks of look stupid. I think that I just draw them stupid. I'm digging my own grave here. Oh no. Oh no. I'm not Carmzel. I'm gonna take the mask off. No, there is no +5 to fishing bonus. There is not. I don't think you look stupid, Velik. I do not. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't. I simply do not. That's simply untrue. These are false allegations against me. But yeah, no, I think those are the... Unless I get drunk again, I think those are the only masks I'll have for that redeem for a time, because I have to be willing to it is a debasement of the self, really. It is the most I've ever debased myself for you guys, which I guess shows how much I trust and care about you, that I'm willing to do that for you, because I would not normally, like, do something like that. I would not normally, like, show my terrible, terrible drawing skills. I'm very ashamed. I'm very ashamed of them. Get drunk again, then? I have actually thought about doing a... I don't know if people would be cool with me doing another drunk stream before the, just on its own, before the 4-month anniversary celebration. Because people seem to, like, have fun. I don't know. I mean... I do what I want, that's the thing, but I want to do what... I want to do what my viewers want, too. because I care about you guys. And like listen, I have fun spending time with you guys with almost anything. I have fun. I don't think I've had a stream where I wasn't having fun. And it's because of you. So, of course I'm going to ask for input about like what you guys want to see. Because you guys make me happy. I want to be happy. All right, no. Subnautica was scary. No, Subnautica was scary, but I did it for you. Subnautica was scary, but I continued on with it for a bit for you. But yeah, no. It's very scary. I was not. I actually those would be the only ones where I wasn't having fun. Yeah. But I wouldn't have been able to do it at all. But I wouldn't have been able to do Subnautica at all if you guys hadn't been with me. You gave me the requisite courage and encouragement that I needed to be able to do anything in that game. So thank you. The Phasmo stream isn't finally going to happen. Speaking of which, I need to practice my Yu-Gi-Oh. The next penalty match is on its way. Oh no. Yes, it's actually quite troubling for me because I haven't played modern Yu-Gi-Oh. So, I'm gonna need to practice. I will be practicing behind the scenes models. We should be assured of that. But yeah, I like streaming for you guys, and I want you guys to have fun. So I'll do so I will plumb your brains for ideas and such. And like that will impact my decision on whether or not to do another drunk stream. Interesting. I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh has been hit by power creep, but then like I played Cardfight Vanguard for a little while, which has the most insane power creep I've ever seen. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Omega power creep. Yeah, that's why MTG has set rotations, isn't it? Casual should be fine. I don't know. I don't know how casual it's gonna be. I don't want to underestimate an opponent and get bodied. Weeps in Commander, the biggest format that doesn't rotate. Oh, I've had a lot of fun with Commander, Albernacht. I've had a lot of fun with EDH/Commander. That's really fun. I wonder if like that's a thing that people will be interested in seeing, because like you could have multiple people playing. So like imagine like a 4-person collab that's just games of Commander. The diplomacy, the switching sides, the alliances, the betrayals. I'd love to see that from some people who are good at card games. Card games are another thing where, like, I love it, but never anyone to play with. So, yeah, no, my honestly, I would say that my gaming... Oh, a 4-person EDH collab. Yes, write down my interest, I think that my gaming tastes, my foremost gaming tastes, were determined by the fact that by two factors. One, that we had Final Fantasy VII and 8 on the PlayStation 1 when I was a really young kid, and two, that there weren't a lot of video games to play, or rather, like any kind of game, like there wasn't anyone to play with. I didn't have anyone to play games with, so I played stuff by myself. And JRPGs are probably one of the you get the most bang for your buck solo gameplay. Have I heard of 1000 blank white cards? I have. Wait, I have. Isn't that where you make up the rules of the game as you go? I think it might be. I think that might be the game. Which is an interesting concept for a game, actually. If it's a 1,000 blank white cards. If you make up the rules as you go along, that seems like that could be a very fun game, depending on the players. It's honestly weird to be thinking in spaces, like, in terms of playing games with other people, even now. I'm not quite... I don't know, I'm not quite used to the concept of it. It's very odd. It's strange. It's interesting. But it's also a little bit strange. I certainly know I would have killed to have somebody to play Dissidia against. Ah. Fighting games. Anyway. Calvin dice. Oh. So you just make things up as you go along. Nice. Nice, Bunzel. The 1997 game is a great computer game. That's a bit old though, isn't it? Isn't there more recent stuff like Arena? And I know Yu-Gi-Oh has Duel Links, but I've never really... I don't know. I am suspicious of such a format. Ultimately, the FFTCG is where like I really want to explore, but like with Cardfight Vanguard, which was basically unless you're like a really big card game, you don't have like easy online play, which sucks. Bunzel, I did something similar where if I was running like lunchtime games of Dungeons and Dragons, I would just make everything up. I would just make up all the rules and be like, roll a die, and they'll roll a die. And I would be like, okay, this result means this, but it was just whatever I wanted to happen. I was in total control. I have always thought that the most interesting thing about the GM screen is that you can hide the dice you roll behind it. You can just roll for no reason, and it doesn't mean anything. But why did you make that roll? I mean, that's a common joke that people make about TTRPGs. I don't know if I'm pulling from too common a source. I don't know. I don't know anything about anything, mortals. Yeah, you can put all your notes there, which is fantastic. I always kept my notes on a laptop when I was trying to run sessions of the Pokemon tabletop game for people who weren't interested. I'm getting into a mood and a half, models. Actually, no better time to host tabletop RPGs again. Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, no time like the present, right? Oh, Critical Role. Yeah, I've heard about that. Tell you what, models. I am having fun chatting with y'all. I'm going to BRB real quick to get a drink and continue. So, I guess I'll just I guess I'll move you all over to the loading screen. Unlike I won't zoom out like usual. Vroom. Be right back. Like 5 minutes tops. Heyo, I'm back. Sorry for taking so long, Waddles. There were a couple unruly demons that I had to, exercise. With a couple of stakes, a matchstick, and, 2 sides. Was a time and a half. I see you guys were talking about the weather. It's quite hot here. On account of, hell. But I really can't complain. I honestly really can't complain about the weather. It's fine enough for me. I'm used to hot climes, hot temperatures. Actually, on the subject of weather, I've never seen snow. I'd really like to see snow sometime. I want to go somewhere where it's cold enough for it to snow, and then, oh well, I mean, I really want to visit Hokkaido in Japan. There's a jazz club there I'd like to go to. What is a snowball's chance in shell? Approximately 1 to the quintillionth power. Out of 7. Snow is awesome, I assume. I should hope so. I feel like I talk to people about snow, and a lot of the times they can, like, people who have snow and they complain about snow, like, oh, it gets everywhere and it's all encompassing, and I gotta shovel it. But it just seems cool to me. It seems cool to me. Ooh, an igloo. An eggloo. An eggloo egg. Yeah, just once, I'd like to get into a snowball fight. I wonder what it feels like to get hit by a snowball, mortals. Have you ever been hit by a snowball? I've obviously never been hit by a snowball because I've never come into contact with snow, but, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, they could have rocks. That's harsh. I mean, you have to trust the people who make the snowballs. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, that I played that really young, at the start of it at least. And the very first fight in Tactics Advance is a tutorial fight where you're not in control of anyone, pretty much. Where you're all just throwing snowballs at each other. And then at the end, obviously, Newt gets hit by a... Wait, or rather, Mute gets hit by a, M-E-W-T, gets hit by a rock in a snowball. And, what I'm saying, basically, that sequence made snow look really cool to me. Because I thought, oh, it's all this white stuff, you can have a snowball fight. And I was like, I want to have a snowball fight like that. I want to have a snowball fight like that. I have never played paintball, and I've played laser tag like 3 times in my life. But I very much enjoy any kind of thing like that where it's a competitive, like, it's it's a war between 2 sides. Would I make a snow angel? Yes, I'd love to. I'd love to fall down in the snow and just like spread my arms out and legs out and make a snow angel. I feel that'd be really fun. I didn't even think of that because I've never encountered snow, but that'd be fun. I mean, I've never been shot by a paintball, so I wouldn't know. But I feel like I would like paintball. I would, because I just like I want to like be. I enjoy team versus team competition that is akin to warfare. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. I want to do snowballs and lasers tag and paintball and that kind of stuff. What about a sand angel? I will never ever lie down in sand. It will get in my hair. It will get everywhere. It will be a pain. It will be such a pain. Oh no. Absolutely not. For sure not, mortals. What's wrong with sand? Look below you, Egg. It's coarse, rough, and it gets everywhere. Anakin's not wrong! It's clumsy and awkward to say, but he's not wrong. Sand sucks. Especially at the beach. Listen, if you even think about touching... Listen, since being a kid, I have learned that if you even think about touching a sand pit or a sandy area with your enclosed shoe, later you will find sand in your socks. And I don't want to have to deal with that. And I especially don't want to have to deal with that like all over my clothes and my hair. Sand sucks, gravel rules, yeah. I'd rather make a gravel angel. You gotta wear sand owls. No, absolutely not. I do not wear that kind of I don't wear no, you don't wear shoes on the beach. I'm talking about sand in other locations. Obviously you don't wear shoes on the beach. So instead like it sticks to your wet feet when you come out of the water. Yeah, no, I don't wear sandals. I don't wear sandals or flip-flops or what have you. I don't do it. I only enclosed shoes for me, thank you. Or nothing at all. Those are the two extremes. Or socks with which to slide on surfaces. I do not wear Crocs. That is a spurless accusation that is unfounded in reality. It has no basis. I would never wear Crocs. I have never worn a Croc in my life. I unironically have never worn a Croc in my life. I haven't. I genuinely haven't. And they're not enclosed either. They're not enclosed. There are holes in Crocs. It does not. This is a lie. You guys are just straight up making stuff up about me. Okay, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this. We're gonna play this. We're gonna play this. I'll make up stuff about you guys. Meiji, I bet you secretly have angel wings growing out of your left ankle. I did not play Croc for the PS1. I have never played Croc for the PS1. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what it is. That would be pretty cool, not gonna lie. What, having angel wings coming out from one of your ankles? So, like, one of your legs can fly, the other one can't. So if you try to fly, you just end up being suspended upside down, like they've used that hex on you from Harry Potter. So, like Namor. I'm not too familiar with Namor, so sorry, Egg. I'm just not up to date. I'm not buff in my knowledge of comics. You can use Heavenly Kick with one leg, a true finisher. I suppose, but like, no, I said pair. It's two angel wings on the one leg, on the one foot. See, I can make up stuff about you guys too. So don't you go making stuff up about me. Okay? Shin High Loose. I grant you the title of Flaming Keeper of the Ever-Spiraling Staircase of the Crystal Tower. How do I know I'm not making it up, though? I am making it up, though. I am making it up, though. Making it up is precisely what I'm doing. Egg, I hereby grant you the title of the crimson-stained speedster roaring down the hillside. No, you don't, Meiji. That'd be ridiculous. Of course you don't. I made that up. It was a lie. It was a deception. You've been tricked, rused, bamboozled. Which Flash though? That's the question, Egg. Wally West or Jay Garrick or Barry Allen? Or is Impulse ever Flash? Is Impulse ever Flash? Because obviously most of my comic knowledge comes from Young Justice, where Impulse, which I've only seen the first 2 seasons of, wherein Impulse assumes the role of Kid Flash, but does he ever become a proper Flash? I wonder. Wally is good. I like Wally. Wally is cool. I've seen Wally, like, in terms of animated stuff. I haven't read any Flash comics, but in terms of animated stuff, I've seen Justice League Unlimited's Wally, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited's Wally, and also Young Justice's Wally, and he seems very fun. I feel like I like him more than Barry. I do enjoy that the Flash is a legacy hero. It's very cool. Legacy heroes are cool. My favorite... Have you ever heard of the Phantom? The ghost who walks, the man who cannot die, from like classic comics. Not like a thing called classic comics, just old comics. I think like 19 somethings comics. But yeah, there's a character called the Phantom. The man who cannot die, the ghost who walks. And his main domain is somewhere in Africa, I think, or something like that. And it's a legacy character that goes back like 20 generations. It's really cool. So they can occasionally set stories in like the Spanish Inquisition or something like that with an older Phantom. That kind of stuff is really cool. Great flexibility. Must be so cool to like be able to just suddenly drop your like once you've completed a modern story arc, like, right, we're telling a story about this period of history now where there are pirates and stuff. Must be very cool. This song is a bit of a bop. Bit of a bop, models. Makes me want to dance a bit. Although, not that I can dance. I can't dance, by the way, mortals. I mean, you should have... I mean, given that I can't sing, you probably have guessed this already, but I can't dance. I am very bad at this. I rarely ever attempt to try. 2 left feet is a bit of an understatement in my case. So no dance-off challenges. I mean, I'll destroy you at DDR if that's what you want. Because DDR isn't dancing. But I will crush you mercilessly at DDR. But yeah. Other than that, no dance-off challenges. That would be unfair. That would be unfair. It would be like a wolf attacking a wounded bunny. Don't attack a wounded bunny. It's a cute little adorable bunny, and it's wounded from an arrow in its side. Don't attack it. Big bad wolf. Yeah, I don't actually have a DDR mat. That would be pretty wild. I don't actually have a DDR mat. That would be wild. No, don't eat the bunny. Wolf, don't eat the bunny. I don't care if it's dinner. Find some berries and nuts and tree leaves and stuff to eat instead. Don't eat the bunny. Lest you find the arrow that met the bunny meeting you too. Intrigue. But yeah, I've never had, I've never gotten a DDR mat, but I've had the honor of playing on machines once or twice. And I think I could hold my own. I think I could hold my own mortals. It's just stepping on the things at the right time. It would be easy. Simplistic. Trivial. You've never played DDR, Velik? I recommend. It is fun. It is fun because it's just especially if you like the song. That's the thing about like rhythm games. You have to like what's playing. Especially if it's something you know well. I mean, arcades are rare pretty much everywhere. And when they're not rare, they're destroying stuff like Dissidia. Like, arcades are rare pretty much everywhere in the world, but you know where they're popular? Japan. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to take Final Fantasy Dissidia and make it a dumbed-down 3v3 arcade fighter on arcades running machines running modified PlayStation 4s. But yeah, DDR is fun. DDR is fun. I wish I could still like find a place that had it. Ah, the States have been getting a lot of arcades recently. Interesting. A resurgence then of the classic arcade boom. I hope you have enough quarters ready. Whoa, made his own arcade dance pad. Nice. Nice. People who custom make their own stuff are cool. I very much appreciate like that sort of, you know, willful spirit that makes its own like makes their own stuff. Oh, it's another bop. We're talking about dancing, and I'm doing a little dancing myself. Well, we're talking about dancing revolution. Ah, the back bars, yeah. I mean, you could always rig something up next to where your mat is. I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun, you know, jolting around, jerking around like a horse with 4 left hooves. But yeah, I'll stop. Ah, harsh. Alas. Think of it as a great reset of DDR skill. Those who emerge and return to. It's your chance to climb to the top. Hello, Suonova. How you doing? We're just talking about DDR machines right now and arcades in general, which actually if there's one thing I like about it's your chance to climb to the top, Elliot. I think arcades are great because they contain DDR machines, fighting game machines, and pinball machines, and it's like, and not to mention like those racing games and you know, scrolling shooters, and it's like, yeah, fantastic. I really enjoy playing a good round of pinball. I like pinball. I used to play, you know that space pinball game that was on Windows? Have I played the Initial D racing game? Nah, I'm bad at racing games. 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 The racing game I have the most experience with is Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. Yeah, Space Cadet Pinball. I played that a bunch back in the day. And then like I've played some physical pinball in arcades as well. It's a lot of fun to play pinball. Hitting the spinners. I actually even before Space Cadet Pinball, I played Timon and Pumbaa pinball. It was like on a CD or something that we had. Timon and I think it was like for the Timon and Pumbaa show. There was Timon and Pumbaa pinball. You know, from The Lion King. They got their own spin-off TV show, and I swear they had like a pinball game. That was like a disc you put in your computer. But yeah, I'm not much of a... As much as I like Eurobeat, I'm not exactly a demon behind the wheel. I can't drive, so I can't really race either. Oh yeah, no. I crash. I crash a lot. Don't get in a vehicle I'm driving, mortals. It won't end well. It just won't. Wasn't that for the NES? No, this was for the PC. I swear it. I swear it was for PC. It did not look like a NES game. I mean, obviously the NES far predates me. There could have been multiple versions. I don't know. I'm thinking about the timing, and I'm pretty sure it's for the Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah, Timon and Pumbaa's Jungle Games. Maybe. There were multiple games, and it was on PC. And it looked kind of like the animated, like it didn't look bad graphically. I don't know. It's been a million years. It's been a million years, models. It has been 5,000 centuries since last the Timon and Pumbaa pinball game was played by Carmine. But yeah. Arcades are great. I spent a lot of time playing Tekken 7 before it came out on consoles. PC port. I see. So that's what it was. So yeah, I spent a lot of time playing Tekken 7 at arcades, and getting basically destroyed again and again and again, over and over again by people better at the game than me, which is fantastic. I wish I still could do that without atrocious lag in online play. I am once again, isolated when it comes to fighting games. Alas. Alack. Another game type that I've never been able to get into because it requires other people. Just pick up a fighting game with rollback. I still don't fully understand what rollback is. Yeah, arcades actually are good for getting advice on fighting games. I actually met an Asuka player that taught me the one combo I know, because he was really good at the game. When I played Tekken 7 at arcades. You do get advice. Yeah, you do get advice. It's fantastic. Oh, well, that would be handy if it makes you feel like you're playing offline. That would be very handy indeed. I would quite appreciate that. But I don't know what has rollback and what doesn't and what not. And I don't know. I already have so many fighting games already on my Steam list. I pick up a fighting game and I go, this is cool. It has cool characters. It looks cool. It has a cool soundtrack. I want to play it. And then I realize, oh wait, it's a fighting game. I don't have anyone to play it with. It's gone. Alas. 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 Can't win them all, models. You can't win them all. Fighting games are often like they're a host. They have a plethora of cool characters, though. I mean, yeah, the genre that needs that the most, but it also applies to trading card games, tabletop role-playing games, and board games. So, which are also stuff I really enjoy. So, yeah. Alas. Like I said, I've been shaped into a JRPG player via my solitary nature, my isolation. I am an island. I am as an island in the ever-shining sea. Oh, I see. You mean like with cool characters, yeah? Because people want to play cool characters. So, but like, I also feel like it's not just that. I feel like it's not just that. I feel like the people who make characters for fighting games just also really want to make cool characters, which is something I really respect. Because, I mean, everybody wants cool characters. I remember discovering Under Night and going, whoa. Everything looks so cool. I actually got into Under Night purely because I saw Lynn, and I thought that looks like a cool character design. I want to see what she's from, and then yeah, Under Night's cast is so cool. All of them are so cool. I mean, they're all different flavors of cool. It's so good. Unfortunately, I will get destroyed in any match of Under Night against anybody ever. Oh, Lin Mei, nice, Yushaku. Nice. I use Eltnam myself. Not that I'm any good at her, but I use Eltnam. I did want to try, what is it, Nanase? But, who stood out to me the most visually at first, but you know, I play Eltnam because gun. Katsuki players. I don't like getting destroyed up against the wall. I feel like with an Akatsuki player, whenever I faced an Akatsuki player in Under Night, it would just be them. Like, imagine getting Kabedon against the wall and then just getting absolutely and violently destroyed. Like, you just get smashed up again. You just get smashed into a wall and then just utterly ravaged. You're destroyed. Crushed. Yes, exactly, Elliot. You get it. Don't threaten us with a good time. Yeah, no. My memories about fighting games are always about how I've lost. They're typically about how I've lost to various characters. I actually, although except in Tekken, I got banned off of 2 characters from like back when there was a brief window in which I could play with other people, like other people like around me were interested in it. I got banned from Asuka, and then I got banned from Lily because they were like, your characters are cheap. But it was actually just because I knew a little bit about the game and I was somewhat good at fighting games, and they were all pathetic, and I just kept on crushing them. And I kept on winning. Because I'd played a bit of Tekken 7 in arcades and, like, against people who were good at it. So I just kept on crushing them, and they were like, nope, change character. And then I would learn Lily, and then I would start crushing them, and they're like, nope, change character. I'm like, just learn your characters and, like, be better at it. Don't, don't call my characters overpowered, like, and cheap when they aren't. And then I started learning Josie, and then that faded away like a ripple in a pond, returning to its calm, clear state. It just suddenly I couldn't play fighting games with anyone anymore. Oh yes, loot. You need to learn how to loot. You can't play fighting games, I don't think, unless you love to lose. Because when I played Tekken 7 in arcades, oh, I would get destroyed. I would get mercilessly destroyed. I would get annihilated. There would be some matches against King where I would not get in a single hit and just get perfected, smashed into the floor over and over and over again. And it's like, yes, because you measure your success is if you can land that one hit. You're aiming for that one hit, and then you're aiming for that next hit, and then you're aiming for a third hit, etc., etc. You keep pushing. You throw yourself at you're basically smashing your face into a brick wall, and if you can't love smashing your face into a brick wall, you can't play fighting games. But I love doing that. I love, yes, the small victories. That's how you measure your success. That's how you measure your success against a vastly superior opponent. How well you do. It's not just about the result of the match, it's about the contents of the match. That's very important. And you do it again and again and again, and you improve bit by bit, and you go back and you learn your character, and you keep on. I wish that arcade was still around. I only got like a month or two there before. I only got a month or two tops before of visiting it. When then it closed down for a year and then reopened without a Tekken 7 cabinet. So, I didn't have anywhere to play Tekken 7. Alas. That's how it always be with those kinds of games. I have small moments where I can play them with people. And then, poof. Vanished. Ephemeral. There's really no constant of being able to play stuff like fighting games or TCGs or stuff like that. But fighting games are all about self-improvement, I think. I say, as I'm a pleb, I am not a fighting games like expert player. Like I'm not I shouldn't really say anything on the topic because I don't know enough about fighting games. There are basic fighting game concepts that I don't understand, but it's very much about self-improvement, I think, and about a willingness to accept defeat and then come back stronger and like learn new things. I think if you can have fun losing, if you can have fun losing in a fighting game, then that's all you need. You can just play it and play it and play it. Or at least I could if I didn't have the terrible net connection. And like a dedicated. I feel you also really need to if you're not playing live in an arcade, you need to be playing with people you know. Because playing against an online stranger, I don't get that sense of connection, that human connection. I feel you make a human connection as you're, beating the snot out of each other with virtual fists. A digital knockout brawl. Wi-Fi warriors in games with no rollback netcode. I mean, I don't know. Considering the state of my internet connection to places, I feel like I'm not much better. But, that's how it be down here in hell. Alas. I really do wish I could play Dissidia with someone, though. I wish I could play Duodecim with someone. I would do that forever. I think that's my concept of heaven. You know what? I think that's what my concept of heaven is. It's just a place where I have all the, there are all these snacks and like comfortable places to lounge and nap. And there's a bunch of really cool people there, like you guys. and there's like all these fighting game cabinets and traditional like traditional games, tabletop games, card games, board games, and I just have infinite time with everyone to play all these games and get good at all these games. My idea of heaven is a place where I have access to like a whole load of cool people and also every video game and tabletop game ever made, and I can just I have eternity to do that. That's what I think my idea of heaven is. Make a community. Be the change you want to see. I can't make a community. I'm not a community maker. I'm bad with people. I'm bad with people. Like, I couldn't make that. I couldn't make like a community. I don't even know how I managed to talk with you guys so well. Yeah, no, I couldn't be in charge of a community. Except every video game case contains phasmophobia. Oh no! I thought I was in heaven, but I was actually in hell. What a twist! It's the Twilight Zone. Oh no! Viewed through a window on the other side of the looking glass. Carmine Phlegathon. I have a terrible Rod Serling voice. I shouldn't try to imitate Rod Serling. I mean, yeah, I know you're all watching the stream, but like a community is a different thing than just tuning in and like lurking or chatting, I feel. I'd have to like establish a presence somewhere, and I don't know. I feel there's already like a VTuber community that I'm kind of on the, like I'm kind of circling around with, and yeah. I feel that's fine. I'm not a lead character. Mortals, with all my power, with how I am a cursed arcane being, with all my power, I am not a lead character. I'm a side character. That's what I think. Phasmophobia arcade cabinets would be insane, though. Just 4 Phasmophobia cabinets next, like lined up, in a plus pattern facing inwards. Because I know that game's. I think that game is 4-player. Why would they be a booth? There is absolutely no way I would play something like I would never play Phasmophobia in the dark. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, I'm the lead of my own story, but I still think that I'm a side character. I feel like I'm just not the. Oh, okay, I'll say this. I'll explain it like this. I am obviously the main character of my own internal narrative. That's true of everyone, but I am not a Red Ranger. Does that make sense? I'm not a leader. I'm not a leader. Community leader included. I am not a Red Ranger. I am the cool like 6th or 7th Ranger. I'm like the Silver Ranger. I'm the Carmine Ranger. You know, I'm like the Green Ranger from the original of Mighty Morphin. Any additional. My primary color is literally my color is red, but like I'm the Carmine Ranger. I'm the additional Ranger. Hey! I never said that I wasn't the coolest. I said that I wasn't the leader. I don't think that I don't want to be the fan favorite. Okay, don't think that I don't want to be the Dark Horse fan favorite character. Nah, but I'm not one of those ones that was a bad guy first. I was never a bad guy, mortals. I was never a bad guy, mortals. I was always on the side of justice. As cursed as I am always on the side of justice. Justice! When was the last time I had my main character be my favorite character? Squall Leonhardt from Final Fantasy. Wait, no, I like Irvine more. Drat. Got me again. Oh, wait, no. Protagonist of Alice in Borderland. He's my favorite character in that. There is no evil Carmine arc. There is no evil Carmine arc. I will never go evil. Unless I unleash the demon lurking within my right arm and it takes over my body. In which case I would become evil in that case. But it wouldn't be me. I would be possessed. Berserk. Yes, exactly. I'm a righteous, pure soul. No, let's not go. Let's not go. Don't you understand? That would be a highly dangerous situation. None of that, thank you. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 mortals. Absolutely. Oof. No. No. No, 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 no. Another bop. Possessed Carmine is just anti-Carmine. I'm pretty sure anti-Carmine is just a blue version of me. Anti-Carmine is just a blue version of me. I would imagine. More attuned to the water element than the fire element, like I am. I feel like that would just be the only difference. I have no idea. The only notable one. I have no idea what aspects I am made up of. That would be the difference. Cobalt Carmine. Yes, it would be. It would be. Yeah, it would be Cobalt Phlegathon. No, don't trade me in. Don't trade me in. Mortals, hasn't our time together meant anything to you? If you would just trade me in like that? For another version? I can't believe you. How callous. Honestly. Oh, okay. Hello, Ninja Guy Danny. We're flipping the coin now. Heads is Vel, tails is Bunzel. Heads. Hi guys, it's Velik. Yeah, so this is I really wish he hadn't made me make the eyes pure black. Why do I do this? I didn't do this. I was forced to do this. I didn't do this. I was forced to do this. Thank you very much. No, it's gray hair. It's gray hair. I made it gray. I did kind of mess up a bit. I suppose I should have made it lighter. I see that now. I was intoxicated at the time. Leave me alone. It's very badly. It's poorly drawn. But yeah, Blue Mine is found under a truck on an island past the SS Anne. I thought that was how you found Mew. Not Pika-Blue. But yeah. Oh no, I don't like this. I don't like wearing this. I don't like wearing these. It's weird. There's no eye holes either. I have to peek out to be able to see you. Well, not that way. Hi. Scuff Mine doesn't have his eye patch. No, I couldn't draw one. Can you say something that I'd say? Okay. I can't believe that I lost to Carmine in Age of Empires 2, even though I am vastly inferior to him in that game. How is my impression? Spot on? I can't do voices. I can't do voices. You know, you joke about Cobalt Mine, but I actually always wanted a little sister. I wanted a female sibling growing up. I mean, that's what you're gonna get when you have like 5 older brothers. You're gonna want a little sister. Because then I would have had someone to talk. Then I would have had someone to talk to about like all this stuff that I was into. That like all this not traditionally masculine stuff that I was into that my brothers weren't. Like, I do believe I mentioned I had a horse phase. Yeah. I guess I also just wanted a younger sibling because, I mean, youngest of 6. Being the youngest of 6 is it's a thing, mortals. It's a thing. What if my sister was also more masculine than you? Then I would have a little sister tomboy, and that would be like a win-win. I mean, the ears are like this. Because of the position, it's got to be like this at the moment. I'd have to like pull myself down to show it properly. I guess I can do that. Hold on. Hi. Now it looks like a hat. Oh, it's just... I mean, you can wear masks like that. You can wear masks like that. Like on the side, like that. Can I make the mask tiny and make it into a hat? I'm not wearing it as a hat. I'm not just gonna play along with everyone's whims like that. I'm not gonna wear you as a hat, Valak. I refuse to wear you as a hat, Valak. That would just be ridiculous. Cease. Can we wear this mask too? No! They're not even meant to be masks, like... I regret everything. I regret everything that I have ever done, mortals. I wish I could walk into the ocean. I can't believe I drew this. I am so aghast. Why? 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 Valak, I'm not making you into a hat! Why is this my existence? Why is this my life? I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Mortals, I don't understand. I don't like this. I don't like this one bit, model. I refuse to wear the hat. The only hat that I will wear is a top hat. I'm not wearing a cat hat. I'm not wearing the hat. I'm not a tunie, I'm not wearing the hat. I refuse. You know, you saying cat hat, I have a top hat? No, I wish I had a top hat. You saying cat hat makes me think of the cat in the hat. We looked, and we saw him step in on the mat. We looked, and we saw him, the cat in the hat. And he said to us, "Why do you sit there like that?" Cat in the Hat read Long Wen. Never? I feel that's been covered by better individuals. I'm just quoting from memory. Rap along, you mean? Oh, I could rap to Cat in the Hat. Okay, you know what? Fine. Let's do that. Let's do that. I will recite the Cat in the Hat. If I can find the lyrics, or rather, the full, the full text of it. But I've also worn this mask for long enough, so I'm gonna put it to one side. Make sure I get a really sick beat to rap to. Hold on. Okay. This should work. I think. This says royalty-free hip-hop background music. I guess I will... I guess I'll give this a go then. Now I just have to find the Cat in the Hat. Carmine's lo-fi hip-hop and Dr. C stream to relax and study to. How am I a barmine? Come on, come on, come on. Give me it, give me it, give me it. Okay, I found it in slideshow version. So I guess we'll just do this. Alright. The sun did not shine, it was too wet to play, so we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally, we sat there, we two, and I said, how I wish we had something to do. Too wet to go out and too cold to play ball, so we sat in the house, we did nothing at all. So all we could do was to sit, 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 and we did not like it, not one little bit. Then something went bump, how that bump made us jump. We looked, then we saw him step in on the mat. We looked and we saw him, the Cat in the Hat. And he said to us, why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny. I know some good games we could play, said the cat. I know some new tricks, said the Cat in the Hat. A lot of good tricks, I will show them to you. Your mother will not mind at all if I do. Then Sally and I did not know what to say. Our mother was out of the house for the day. But our fish said, no, no, make that cat go away. Tell that Cat in the Hat you do not want to play. He should not be here. He should not be about. He should not be here when your mother is out. Now, have no fear, said the cat. My tricks are not bad, said the Cat in the Hat. Why, we can have lots of good fun, if you wish, with a game that I call up with a fish. Put me down, said the fish. This is no fun at all. Put me down, said the fish. I do not wish to fall. Have no fear, said the cat. I will not let you fall. I will hold you up high as I stand on a bowl, with a book on one hand and a cup on my hat. But that is not all I can do, said the cat. Look at me now, said the cat, with a cup and a cake on top of my hat. I can hold up 2 books, I can hold up the fish, and a little toy ship, and some milk on a dish. And look, I can hop up and down on the ball. But that is not all, oh no, that is not all. Look at me now. It is fun to have fun, but you have to know how. I can hold up the cup and the milk and the cake. I can hold up these books and the fish on a rake. I can hold the toy ship and a little toy man. And look, with my tail I can hold a red fan. I can fan with the fan as I hop on the ball, but that is not all. Oh no, that is not all. That is what the cat said, then he fell on his head. He came down with a bump from up there on the bowl, and Sally and I, we saw all the things fall. And a fish came down too, he fell into a pot. He said, "Do I like this? Oh no, I do not. This is not a good game," said our fish as he lit. "No, I do not like it, not one bit." "Now look what you did," said the fish to the cat. "Now look at this house, look at this, look at that. You sank our toy ship, sunk it deep in the cake. You shook up our house, and you bent our new rake. You should not be here when our mother is not. You should get out of this house," said the fish in a pot. "But I like to be here. Oh, I like it a lot," said the cat in the hat to the fish in the pot. "I will not go away. I do not wish to go." And so, said the cat in the hat, so, I will show you another good game that I know. Okay. And then he ran out, and then fast as a fox, the cat in the hat came back in with a box. A big redwood box, it was shut with a hook. "And now look at this trick," said the cat. "Take a look." Oof, I'm stumbling a bit. Then he got up on the top with the tip of his hat. "I call this game Fun in a Box," said the cat. "In this box are two things I will show to you now. You will like these two things," said the cat with a bow. "I will pick up the hook. You will see something new. Two things, and I call them Thing 1 and Thing 2. These things will not bite you. They want to have fun." Then out of the box came Thing 2 and Thing 1. And they ran to us fast. They said, "How do you do? Would you like to shake hands with Thing 1 and Thing 2? And Sally and I did not know what to do, so we had to shake hands with Thing 1 and Thing 2. We shook their two hands, but our fish said, No, those things should not be in this house, make them go. They should not be here when our mother is not. Put them out, said the fish in the pot. "Have no fear, little fish," said the cat in the hat. "These things are good things," and he gave them a pat. "They are tame, oh so tame, they have come here to play. They will give you some fun on this wet, wet, wet day." Then Sally and I saw them run down the hall. We saw those two things bump their kites on the wall. Bump, thump, thump, bump, bump, down the wall in the hall. Thing 2 and Thing 1, they ran up. They ran down on the string of one kite. We saw Mother's new gown. Her gown with the dots that are pink, white, and red. Then we saw one kite bump on the head of the bed. Then those things ran about, what would she say? With big bumps, jumps, and kicks, with hops and big thumps, and all kinds of bad tricks. And I said, "I do not like the way they play. If Mother could see this, oh." Then our fish said, look, and our fish shook with fear. "Your mother is on her way home, do you hear? Oh, what will she do to us? What will she say? Oh, she will not like to find it this way." "So do something fast," said the fish. "Do you hear? I saw her. Your mother is near. So as fast as you can, think of something to do. You will have to get rid of Thing 1 and Thing 2. So as fast as I could, I went after my net, and I said, "With my net I can get them, I bet. I bet with my net I can get those things yet." Then I let down my net. It came down with a plop, and I had them at last. Those two things had to stop. And then I said to the cat, "Now do as I say. You pack those things and you take them away." "Oh dear," said the cat, "you did not like our game. Oh dear, what a shame, what a shame, what a shame." Then he shut up the things with the box on the hook, and the cat went away with a sad kind of look. "That is good," said the fish. "She has gone away, yes, but your mother will come. She will find this big mess, and this mess is so big, and so deep, and so tall, we cannot pick it up, there is no way at all." And then, who was back in the house? Why, the cat. "Have no fear of this now," said the cat in the hat. "I always pick up my playthings, and so I will show you another good trick that I know." Then we saw him pick up all the things that were down. He picked up the cake and the rake and the gown and the milk and the strings and the books and the dish and the fan and the cup and the ship and the fish, and he put them away, and then he said, "That is that," and then he was gone with a tip of his hat. Then our mother came in and she said to us too, "Did you have any fun? Tell me, what did you do?" And Sally and I did not know what to say. Should we tell her the things that went on there that day? Should we tell her about it? Now, what should we do? Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? And that is, that was Cat in the Hat. Oh, I got rid of your mod. Sorry, Velek. I didn't know timing out did that. Wait, no. How do I... How do I bring it back? It says you are a moderator. I don't know how to bring it back. Oh, /mod Velik. There. All right. So yeah. Let me swap back to the typical. But this is honestly not that bad. I should look into like other stuff other than Dover syndrome more frequently. All right. But yeah, that was the Cat in the Hat as recited by Carmine Phlegathon. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why everyone was so hyped, but I really appreciate it. Lovely story. Dr. Seuss has an amazing way with rhyming. I wish I could have verbally performed it better, but so it goes. So it goes. I'm glad. I might slip them in here and there more in the future then. But as for rap battle collab, whenever somebody teaches me how to rap battle, because I have no idea how to rap battle, and also when somebody challenges me to one. Rap battles seem fun. I'd like to I actually have watched a bit of the do you know about England's rap battle scene? There's a performer by the name of Shuffle T, who I believe mostly does you know, like tag team stuff, 2-on-2. But I've seen some of his rap battles, and they seem very interesting. The rhymes are very interesting, and I believe what's called the flow is very fun. But I can't really rap myself, so a rap battle collab with me, I'll be an easy target. But I do like the concept. I didn't really get rap until I figured out, oh, it's poetry. At which point, you know, gears they turn in the head. I'm thinking about wrapping up the stream soon, because we've actually been chatting for over 3 hours, which is I don't know, I feel like I can't entertain you any further. But I do enjoy wrapping up the stream. Yo, let me wrap up the stream for you. I'm MC Carmine or whatever. 4 people make the same joke. Wow. Okay, 5. That wasn't a pun. I swear it. I swear it. I swear it upon my honor. But yeah, no. I feel like I can't entertain you guys anymore. I feel like I peaked with that, with the recitation of Cat in the Hat. So, I have greatly enjoyed these 3 hours talking with you. And I really appreciate your presence. But I'll not belabor the point. Let's start looking for people to, you know, do the old raid majig. You found him? You... Okay, hold on, I have to save this and then put it in so you can all see what this is. Because this is... Whoa. 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 Look at that. It's Cobalt Phlegathon. It's Cobalt Phlegathon. Look at him. Look at him. The cooler twin. Carmine Alter. We finally found Carmine Alter. Look at him. His tie is all tiger stripe instead. It's weird. This is a unique kind of cursed, I feel. His eye is still silver, at least. They didn't change the eye color. I can't imagine. He really would look like a shadow if he had gold eyes. Time for another cursed redeem. I don't have a palette swap form, so yeah, no. I don't. I'm not Koopa. I can't suddenly assume the form of Fortuna. Yeah, this is apparently Cobalt Phlegathon. Say hi. Say hi, everyone. Thank you to this. Okay. I'll yeah, because I mean he's like you like he's right on top of you mortals. So I guess from me and Cobalt here, I'll bid you guys. I'll look for someone to raid so we can bid you guys a fond farewell. Twitch. Oh, thank you for coming, Stromelli. Thank you for coming. So is Cobalt a practitioner of ice or water? Both. He's cool. He's cool. Okay. This is okay. Let's see what options we have here. I don't know if I should raid Rocco or Mal. Because Rocco is playing Sonic Heroes and I jam to that. But I don't think I've raided Mal before. Why does Cobalt get 2 powers? I have infinity, like I have over 1,000 powers. You think he only has 2? Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. I'll send you guys over to Mal. To Morthdoog. Start raid. Thanks for the stream, Cobalt. Cobalt thanks you. Yes. Thank you for coming, mortals. I don't know what Cobalt will sound like. Okay, so I shall now send you through the mystic portal to the other side, to Morthdoog's art stream. I will send you with this raid a message. I will send you through this portal. But yes, you are all wonderful people, wonderful mortals, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, or simply just a good rest. Farewell, and good luck, as I commence the Unlimited Omega Reverse Umbral Shining Royal Majestic Incandescent Infernal Draconic Demonic Meteor Hellfire Raid! Farewell!